Hi, this is Jeremy Schiefling, the founder and chief nerd of Break Into Tech, and I'm here to help you figure out whether you should consider a career in customer success, or CS for short. Let's start with a pop quiz. So, what do you think this acronym ARR stands for? And I can promise you it's not pirate talk, it is a real tech term that actually means annual recurring revenue. In other words, when a company has subscription clients, how much revenue can it expect each year just by keeping those clients happy? And as you can see from this list of successful subscription-driven companies, having this magical recurring source of revenue is a huge deal. Now, to explain why, let's take a look at a sample CS manager. So Morgan is an MBA who leads the CS team at Adobe, which is fascinating in and of itself because for the longest time, Adobe didn't even have any subscriptions. Instead, like Microsoft and pretty much every software company out there, it sold you CDs in a box that you would then upgrade dutifully every 5 years. But 5 years ago, Adobe ditched that model completely and went all in on subscriptions. So instead of paying $100 or $500 or $1,000 for Photoshop, clients now only pay $10 a month. And as you can see, the shift to a software as a service or SaaS model has been a huge bonanza for Adobe. Because by reducing the friction of getting started with its products and then building an ATM-style business that automatically pumps out new cash every single month, Adobe has added tens of billions of dollars to its valuation. But there's just one catch. All of the success is predicated on keeping those customers paying each and every month, which is where the role of the customer success manager comes in. Because unlike a customer service rep who just responds reactively to complaints, far too late to save an unhappy client, customer success managers are all about proactive outreach, working with new clients from day one to day 1001. And unlike the traditional account manager role, which is all about upselling and trying to squeeze more revenue out of clients, the customer success manager is actually about customer happiness first and foremost, especially since a happy customer is a customer who renews. And that renewal is the source of all the goodness you see on these graphs. So that's why customer success is such a critical function for companies today. But why would you want to play that role? Well, the answer lies in the fact that customer success has in some ways the most direct control over a business's success. While a PM or a BizOps pro can plant the seeds for success years in the future, only a CS manager can drive results each and every month. And that's because they're present at every critical juncture in a client's lifecycle. From the first onboarding call, to training the key stakeholders, to coaching the client's team, all the way to expansion, all the way to renewal, no one else, not sales, not PM, is there every single step of the way. So if you love the idea of working directly with clients, serving them well, and then carrying the company's success on your shoulder, customer success might just be the perfect role for you. Now, to get a better sense of its potential fit, let's look at how the role is structured. So like any good tech role, customer success is incredibly cross-functional. In addition to working with customers externally, you'll also work internally with customer service managers to get a sense of what they're hearing from clients. You'll collaborate with the product team to share insights from the front lines and help shape the feature roadmap. And you'll mentor younger CS folks right out of school. And to see what that all looks like in action, here's a sample project. So again, going back to Adobe, let's imagine that the customer success team has been tasked with driving retention for its new customer, Haas CMG. Now, as any great client-facing pro does, CS professionals are always going to start by asking questions and then listening. Rather than recommending a one-size-fits-all implementation, they're first going to understand what's driving Haas's purchase. For example, in this case, it might be the desire to use high-quality design to burnish that group's brand on campus. And then once this clear North Star is understood, now the CS manager is going to work backwards to ultimately achieve it. From identifying the key internal stakeholders, to setting up a training plan, to measuring progress at key milestones, the purchase goes from a nice idea in theory to a detailed roadmap all the way towards success. Next, the CS manager rolls up their sleeves and begins to train key members of the team. For example, perhaps they identify Adobe Elements, not Photoshop, as the most appropriate stepping stone for the CMG's design novices, and they start their training there. And then finally, the hallmark of CS excellence is that the manager continues to follow up long after the training is done. By checking in proactively, the manager not only heads off any concerns before they threaten renewal, they also organically discover new opportunities for growth. For example, expanding the team into the Adobe Marketing Cloud so CMG can start marketing to students more effectively, and then maybe even new opportunities for product success. Maybe they realize that all these Adobe services need customized templates just for the higher education segment, and they can share that with the product team. So that's exactly how a CS manager powers the growth of a company across just about every dimension of the customer experience. And they're evaluated in a similarly holistic manner. Now, while the primary metrics of concern for a CS manager are short-term satisfaction, usually measured by Net Promoter Score, and then long-term client health, as measured by renewals, a really great CS leader also focuses on opportunities for growth above and beyond these table stakes measurements, both growth in the contract and in the product roadmap, as well as opportunities to more systematically and effectively onboard new clients. And to help achieve all these results, here are the key tools of the CS trade. Now, obviously, no self-respected trainer is going to have weak sauce, PowerPoint, or webinar skills, but more and more CS leaders need to be great at analyzing data on the back end too. And that usually means mastering tools like a customer relationship management system, such as Salesforce, or a customized customer success management tool like Gainsight. But if you can also dig straight into your own customer database and pull results using SQL, that would be some pretty tasty frosting on the CS cake. Okay, time for the big question. Is CS for you? To find out, let's think through all the roles hallmarks that we've just discussed. First of all, do you like the idea of working for a SaaS company versus, say, a hardware firm that doesn't rely on subscriptions? That model has big implications for what your role is going to be like and what you're going to work on, so think about that carefully. And then once you've explored that, consider, do you not only love the idea of working directly with customers, but ultimately having the buck stop straight with you for the customer success and your company success? That's a big mantle to carry, but it's what customer success managers do every day. And if that sounds good, ask yourself whether you have the relational skills to succeed not just externally, but also with your tough internal partners like PM who are always going to be making demands or pushing back on you. And then think about whether you have the experience with everything you need, from building new relationships to training diverse teams to leading big complex projects all the way to fruition. And if you've got that, consider the skill set required. Strong PowerPoint skills, strong webinar skills, and then hopefully a little knowledge of customer databases, whether a CRM or a CSM. Now, if you answered yes to most of these questions, chances are good that you have what it takes to break into CS. But to be totally sure, you want to talk to alumni working in the space. So reach out to Haas alums working all across the CS world, ask them about whether you'd be a good fit, whether your profile fits their mold, and if they say yes, you can be very confident that you're in good shape because they represent the hiring managers of this particular function. So start reaching out to those alumni today, and here's wishing you tremendous success in this awesome field.